Good morning. It's the sun is shining. I'm so excited. I know. My name is Nina Hens, and I'm your worship associate this morning. Welcome to those of you who are here with us in person at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Roanoke. And we extend a special welcome if you are joining us for the first time. We hope you will join us for coffee after the service. That'll be right through those gold doors. We also say welcome to those of you who are watching on YouTube. And this was so well received last week that we are going to do it every week. If you will please stand up, turn around, and wave to our YouTube friends. Hello, YouTube people. A reminder for those of you who are on YouTube, if you have anything you would like to share during Lifelines, please put it into the chat function in the next 15 minutes. Our minister is the Reverend Walter LaFleur, who is currently at GA and on beginning his summer sabbatical. So today's speaker is Mr. Eric Bannon, and our topic is Learning to Pray, 1,000 Ways to Kneel and Kiss the Ground. Just a reminder, please check your cell phone, make sure it is off or on silent. And join me as we say our words of welcome. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you express your identity, whatever your situation in life, whatever your experience of the holy, as you come seeking love, your presence here is a gift. Whether you are filled with sadness or overflowing with joy, needing to be alone with yourself or eager to engage others, all who welcome all are welcome here. Our covenant: we commit to supporting each other with respect and direct communication as we work in community to explore spiritual growth and to be a force for good in the world.
Good morning. Oh, I'm hearing harmonies out there. We have choral singers. It's okay to sing harmony to this song. I needed a song one day for a service, so I wrote one because I always thought that whoever you are, whomever you love, however you came to be here, you are welcome here. I always thought we should be singing that. So I wrote a song and I played it and everybody flipped out, and now it's getting played in churches all over America. And the chorus goes like this: whoever you are, whomever you love, however you came to be in this community, you are welcome here. Does that sound familiar just a little bit? You are welcome here. So you want to try that with me one time? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you came to be in this community, you are welcome here. You are welcome here. Now, those of you that are out there on YouTube, you can sing as loud as you want and no one can hear you. If you are searching, come on in. We're all on this journey that starts within. If you got a burden, come lay it on down. Raise up your voices as we gather around. Here we go. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you came to be in this community, you are welcome here. You are welcome here. If you are joyful or you're concerned, come share your story. The chalice flame burn. If your heart is broken, you've been disowned, come join our circle and turn off your phones. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you came to be in this community, you are welcome here. You are welcome here. And if you are running, you got the right to seek sanctuary, guided by the light. If you hear that calling, come join the fight, marching for justice, candles lit in the night. wherever you are, whomever you love, however you came to be in this community, you are welcome here. You are welcome here. Just that last line now. You are welcome here. A little louder. Here we go. All right, last time, big finish. Here we go. You are welcome here. Thank you.
Well, that was fun. So our first reading today comes from the book Help, Thanks, Wow, Prayer 101. It's from Annie Lamott, and this is part 1. I do not know about God and prayer, but I have come to believe over the past 25 years that there's something to be said about keeping prayer simple. Help, thanks, wow. You may, in fact, be wondering what I mean when I use the word prayer. It's certainly not what TV Christians mean. It's not for display purposes like plastic sushi or neon. Prayer is private, even when we pray with others. It is communication from the heart to that which surpasses understanding. Let's say it's communication from one's heart to God. Or if that is too triggering or ludicrous a concept for you, to the good. The force that is beyond our comprehension, but that in our pain or supplication or relief, we don't need to define or have proof of or any established contact with. Let's say it's what the Greeks called the really real. I don't remember the Greeks saying that. What lies within us, beyond the scrim of our values, positions, convictions, and wounds. Or let's say it is a cry from deep within to life or love with capital L's. Nothing could matter less than what we call this force. I know some ironic believers who call God Howard, as our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. I called God Phil. For a long time after a Mexican bracelet maker promised to write Phil 4, verses 4 through 7 on my bracelet, Philippians 4 through 7, being my favorite passage of scripture, but got only as far as Phil before having to dismantle his booth. Phil is a great name for God. And if you'll chalice video, if you'll join me as we light the chalice.
May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, O Spirit of life.
Good morning. Good morning. I like hearing those good mornings come back. I'm Jessie McEwen. I'm the Director of Lifespan Faith Development here, and I'd like to invite all young people and anyone who wants like a good visual of what's about to happen to go ahead and come forward. First, I have a question. What does it mean to pray? You guys didn't know I was going to pop quiz you, did you? To ask for guidance. I like that. So there's a lot of people who pray, and they pray in all different ways. When I was a kid, I would go to church with my grandpa, and I had to fold my hands and close my eyes and bow my head. And then I would open my eyes to see if my sister was looking. And if she was looking, we would make one eye contact. We'd get a giggle fit, then we'd get in trouble. It was a lot. But we didn't really focus on what we were supposed to be focusing on. but I found other ways. These are prayer ties. This is what we make when I go out with the Lakota and we go to sweat lodges or Sundance. This is about 150 prayer ties. I'll hold them up for everybody to see. And these are personal, private prayers. And you make them by bundling up an herb, usually tobacco. Some people use lavender if they don't want to use tobacco. You bundle them up in these little pieces of cloth, and it only belongs to you. And then you send those prayers off into the universe, to Creator, to God, to other people, because we can support each other, right? This is a candle with Our Lady of Guadalupe on it. Some people light this candle every time they pray, and they ask her, Our Lady of Guadalupe, to intercede for them. And if you want, the prayer is written on the back in Spanish and English. Have you guys seen these before? Prayer flags. So when you make a prayer flag, and we have some upstairs that folks have made, when you make a prayer flag, you draw everything on it with a stamp and go over it by hand. Some people can just draw that stuff by hand. I can't. I have to use a stamp. And then the wind takes these prayers into the universe as it blows through these, and we hang them until they fall apart. And then our prayer has been heard. I'm going to put these here. Last night, I was with a group of people. We rang a bell. We drank from a chalice, and we each have our own special chalice. This is mine. And we lit a candle. And it was just a time to be together and feel our ancestors coming through the ground through our bare feet. I usually have bare feet, but we spent that time together in a form of prayer. Who knows what this is? Another chalice. This is my candle chalice. And this is what we light when we're gathering in and experiencing all sorts of things together. I also light it at home before I meditate. And some people cover their heads, their shoulders, their arms with a shawl or something similar. I like to do that when I meditate because sometimes I get cold because I forget to turn off my air conditioner. There's all sorts of things people do. This is some incense that you can light and burn. It's frankincense and myrrh. This is sage that I got from my Lakota friends. I even have some smooth rocks that I like to hang on to when I'm focusing my intentions. We've got more different incense. This is from Tibet, and this awesome incense burner. And lastly, I have some water from our water communion. What year was it? 2019. So sometimes I'll put a little bit of that in something. I don't drink it. Don't drink the leftover water communion water. Does anybody know what this is? It's a rosary. So these beads, just like our UU prayer beads, these beads run through your fingers and you utter prayers, sometimes prescribed prayers. With our UU prayer beads, we use what's called breath prayers. So there's all sorts of ways that people connect to the universe, a higher power. Some folks believe in God. Some folks believe in a different God than another person. Ultimately, this is a way to focus our intentions and our beliefs, and we can make powerful things happen. So you will eventually find a thing, but you all have a set of these. I know, because we made them. From here, we're going to go upstairs, and we're going to focus a different sort of power into a lightsaber. Let's do it. You have to say, sorry. We'll bring you a lightsaber.
So the second part of Annie Lamott's reading really resonated with me. My friend Robin calls God the grandmothers. The deteriorata, a parody of desiderata, and if you're of a certain age, you know what that is, counsels us, therefore make peace with your God, whatever you conceive him to be, hairy thunderer or cosmic muffin. Let's not get bogged down on whom or what we pray to. Let's just say prayer is communication from our hearts to the great mystery or goodness or Howard, to the animating energy of love we are sometimes bold enough to believe in, to something unimaginably big and not us. We could call this force not me, or not preachers on stage with a choir of 800. Or for the convenience, we could just say God. Some of you were taught to pray at bedtime with your parents. And when I spent the night at your houses, I heard all of you say these terrifying words, "Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake." What? What did you say? I could die in my sleep? I'm only 7 years old. I pray the Lord my soul to take. That so did not work for me, especially in the dark of a strange home. Don't be taking my soul. You leave my soul right here in my 50-pound body. Help. Sometimes the first time we pray, we cry out in the deepest desperation, God help me. I do that with my granddaughters quite a bit. This is a great prayer as we are then at our absolutely most degraded and isolated, which means we are nice and juicy with the consequences of our best thinking and are thus possibly teachable. Or I might be in one of my dangerously good moods and say casually, "Hi, hey, me again, the princess. Thank you for my sobriety, my grandson, my flowering pear tree." Or you might shout at the top of your lungs or whisper into your sleeve, "I hate you, God." That is a prayer too, because it is real. It is a truth, and maybe it is the first sincere thought you've had in months. So, some of us have cavernous vibrations inside us when we communicate with God. Others are more rational and less messy in our spiritual sense of reality, in our petitions and gratitude and expressions of pain or anger or desolation or praise. Prayer means that in some unique way, in some unique way, we believe we're invited into a relationship with someone who hears us when we speak in silence. And I'd like to introduce our speaker today. We are in for a treat, Mr. Eric Bannon. Eric describes himself as a vocal explorer, a storyteller, performing songwriter, and worship leader based in Pittsburgh, North Carolina. If you've never been to Pittsburgh, you should go. It's really quite lovely. He has been called to share his art to inspire, heal, motivate for positive change, and to build community. I give you Mr. Bannon.
Almost nobody calls me Mr. Bannon. Who here has a pleasant memory of their grandmother's kitchen? Close your eyes and see if you can put yourself in your grandma's kitchen for a minute. I can see her. White halo, hair around her head, glasses, bifocals back then. She's wearing an apron, faded, threadbare, pink, frilly, floral print, dusted with flour. I remember being 7 years old, visiting my mother's family at their summer home in Lake Rogerine, New Jersey. I'd just come in from playing outside with my cousins. I noticed the house was unusually quiet. It was then I saw my very Polish, very Catholic grandmother, Sophie Shamborski, sitting in a kitchen chair, eyes closed, lips moving silently as she prayed the rosary. Now, at the time, I didn't really have the vocabulary or the life experience to explain what I was seeing. Anne Lamont's book, Help, Thanks, Wow, which I highly recommend, offers this. Prayer means that in some unique way, we believe that we're invited into a relationship with someone who hears us when we speak in silence. Looking back now on this, I'm moved to consider all the prayers prayed on rosaries over the centuries. All the different languages. Think about all the different languages that those prayers have been prayed in. I would like to think this has given solace to many, many people. My parents were devout Catholics, but I never learned to pray the rosary. However, I can still recite Our Father or Hail Mary, at the drop of a hat. But this idea of structured repetitive prayer is something I never really connected with, despite the fact that it was very much a part of my upbringing. And going to confession as a kid where we were giving repetitive prayers as penance made it even harder for me to connect with this idea. So let's circle back to Help, Thanks, Wow. Our fourth principle, the free and responsible truth and meaning, inspires me to ask this question: how do we learn to pray on our own terms? Are we not divine enough beings to know what we need? Let me tell you about my friend Corey. She identifies as a member of the Earth Church and is, in her words, united with the Spirit through nature. She was raised in the Midwest by a mostly single mother due to an alcoholic father. Her grandmother was a practicing Pentecostal. If you needed help, Grandma would pray for you. And Corey and her mother bounced around a number of different churches growing up. Money was really tight in her home. As a child, her prayers were very much in the help category. Praying for enough money to pay the rent, buy the groceries. Praying for the neighbor's dog that had been hit by a car. When I asked her, what is prayer? She replied, when I was a child, prayer was when you spoke your hardship to someone who was always listening, like that painting of Jesus and the little children. And she went on to say that when I was a child, divinity was something outside of me. It was something out there or up there. Divinity was external until I discovered the divinity within myself. I remember when I heard her say that, I was really taken aback. I was like, wow, the divinity within myself. Corey's a social worker and a therapist, and it was her studies in eco-psychology that led her to this revelation. One day walking in the woods, she saw herself in nature and nature in herself. And she recalls it was all the good stuff about religion without even trying. This idea of divinity within, connecting with the divinity about us, around us, is something that I really connect with, especially when I'm playing music, especially as an improviser. When you're building a house, when there's no paper, when there's no song, you're building a house from the sky down. When I'm improvising, there are often times when I feel like I'm in touch with something greater. My voice teacher, Judy Vinar, calls this being in touch with the mothership. Excuse me. Ooh. My friend Alice is a yoga practitioner and an artist with an amazing musical ear. Her grandmother was a faith healer who spoke in tongues. Now, Alice recalls the power of her grandmother's faith. Say that again. Alice recalls the power of her grandmother's faith as being manifested through sound. She went on to say that the parts of my worship experience growing up that brought joy revolved around music and sound. Nowadays, Alice prays by chanting mantras in the Gurmukhi language. This is a Sikh language that she has learned from her yoga teacher. She goes on to say, I have two ways of chanting. Sometimes I chant with intention, and sometimes I chant just to clear my mind. Her answer to the question, what is prayer? I use prayer and chanting to raise the vibration, the frequency of the vibration. God is a high frequency. Love is the highest frequency. I use mantras to find these higher frequencies. These free me from the lower frequencies of fear. Wow. This idea of prayer as a vibration is something that really resonates with me. It reminds me of the perspective of my good friend, singer-songwriter Jonathan Bird brings to bear on this subject. He said, and I'm quoting Jonathan here, do you know that vibration is everything? Every atom in your body, every particle of dust out there on the sidewalk, on a molecular level, it's all rotating, radiating, gyrating. Any physicists in the audience? Never mind. One of the most powerful things you can do is sing. Maybe you go out to a bar and sing along with your favorite country song. Maybe you go to a church and sing along with the congregation. Maybe you go to a Taylor Swift concert that you paid $1,000 a ticket for and sing along with 50,000 of your closest Swiftie friends. I'm a huge Taylor Swift fan. I've never seen her live, though. However you do it, when you sing, you are harnessing the most fundamental force in the universe. Is a hymn not just a prayer set to music? I'm learning to pray. I learn a new way every day. I'm not stuck on the same old script. I take a deep breath and let it rip. 'Cause faith is a journey every step of the way, and I'm learning to pray. I'm praying for my sister who's hospitalized. I'm praying for my brother who believes all those lies. I'm praying for the water so wide. I'm praying for the river so the river don't rise. I'm praying, learning to pray. I learn a new way every day. I'm not stuck on the same old script. I take a deep breath and let it rip. 'Cause faith is a journey every step of the way, and I'm learning to pray. You can pray with your hands, pray with your feet, pray with your heart, a new prayer every beat. Now you can pray humble, or you can pray proud. You can pray ill, quiet, or shout it out loud. I'm learning to pray. I learn a new way every day. I'm not stuck on the same old script. I'll take a deep breath and let it rip. 'Cause faith is a journey every step of the way. And I'm learning to pray. Back in August 2018, I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I damn near died. Now, I remember while I was going through chemotherapy, one Sunday I worked up the energy to leave my house and attend services at the Community Church of Chapel Hill, UU, my home church. And almost immediately, I was overwhelmed by everybody who wanted to hug me and touch me and pray for me. Almost immediately, I was overwhelmed by this. I can't even remember if I made it through the rest of the service. But I went home thinking how uncomfortable I was by all the people who wanted to pray for me. You know, as time went on, I started getting stronger and I started going out a bit more. And I would hear those same words, I'll pray for you. I had a lot of very awkward conversations. I mean, cancer's hard to talk about. You know, you see somebody you haven't seen in a while and you've got no hair and you're like, oh, you shaved your head. No. Oh, you've lost some weight. No. One day I was having one of those very awkward conversations and I felt something shift inside. Someone told me that they were going to pray for me, and I said, thanks. I gave him a great big hug. From that point on, every time somebody offered to pray for me, I took a deep breath and said, thank you. It took a catastrophic illness to teach me the grace to accept a divine intention from another human being. Now, eventually, in a roundabout way, I started praying for others. Now, I live in Chatham County, North Carolina, which is kind of out there in the sticks. It's getting less rural every day. And I have some rather toxic neighbors. I'm surrounded on three sides by Trumpers. Was it okay to say that in here? I mean, if we have any Trump fans in here, I'll pray for you. I have some rather toxic neighbors. We've had a number of conflicts concerning loose dogs, firearms, loud music, kids on motorcycles and ATVs. You get the picture, right? For a while there during the pandemic, I lost time. I was calling the cops on them like every week. And I was angry all the time. And every time I drove by one of their houses, I would think, One day I realized that my anger was giving these people power. So I started praying for them. Every time they came to mind for whatever reason, I would say a little prayer like, Dear God, please help whoever find a better way of being. It's been about a year since I called the cops. Did prayer change my neighbors? Who knows? Changed me. And that's a good start. So I still pray. I pray for my neighbors, my friends, my family, my nephew who's incarcerated. my friend who's going through a breakup. You know, sometimes it's enough to know there's somebody out there pulling for you, praying for you. Sometimes that's all it takes to cause a positive shift in your life. Above all this, I'm still learning to pray every day. So may you all learn to pray on your own terms. And may your divinity within meet the divinity about you. Amen. Thank you, and may it be so.
So as you know, the work of this church involves not only all of you, but a little bit of financial support. So the ushers will come, will come around and pass the basket.
Sacred spaces we are making when we gather and we sing round the campfire in a street choir. Join the circle, let it ring. Ain't that some amazing grace? Sanctuary we create. Bring your troubles, tell your story. Pass the old guitar around. Raise your voices, make it joyous. Listen for that holy sound. Ain't that some amazing grace? The sanctuary we create. Not the way, oh, see you say, oh, not the way, oh, say, not the way, oh, see you say, oh, not the way, oh, say, feel your heartbeat, there's a rhythm, there is music all around. Find another sister, brother, take a stand on holy ground. Ain't that some amazing grace? This sanctuary we create. Not the way, oh, see you say, oh, not the way, oh, say, not the way, oh, see you say, oh, not the way, oh, say, way, this sanctuary that that's us, y'all, create.
Thank you. That was beautiful. In all levels. I'm Terry Smith, a member of the Caring Committee. We're the official sponsors of this portion of the Sunday services, excuse me, where we share joys and concerns of members of the community. If you have an item that you'd like to have announced on Sunday, please contact the church office before noon on Friday, or reach out through telephone, email to Sally Garber, who's chair of the Caring Committee, or any other Caring Committee member that you can reach. We also have a Lifelines book, which normally is on the altar before and after service for you to write your own special message in. And during the week, it's on the pedestal next to the name tag board in the hallway. Now, let us enter into a time of reverence, into the space of love and hope. We together share this news. First, a welcome to John Benke. It's nice to see you with us this morning, sir. And secondly, some of you learned from me earlier in the spring that I have to have a hip surgery to replace my left hip. And I got the call this week. The surgery will be in October, a mere 6 months after the condition was diagnosed. So if you notice me limping, it'll just be a little bit longer than I had hoped. Now, if you have a personal concern or joy in your heart, please feel free to come forward and light a candle. We'll have both sides of the altar available.
There's a view from up here you can't get from the valley below, where the mill here quit the town and the rivers run dry. No one has tears left to cry. No one has tears left to cry. I've twisted and turned and I've run, and I've done things for which I'm ashamed. Once a maker of kings, now a pawn in a game. No longer lives in the blame. Another sun drops in the western sky. I turn to face coming up the night. It's a long road ahead till the daylight arrives. I've no tears left to cry. I've no tears left to cry. morning breaks, I'll be whole again. Cracks in my soul patched with gold. There's a taste on my tongue, good things to come. Moving on, I'll be traveling light. Moving on, I'll be traveling light.
May our prayers, in whatever form they take, be heard and our hearts uplifted.
If you'll look at the inside of your program today, our announcements are listed. Next week's sermon will be on independence, but not for all, with Dana Martin. The second announcement is Mark Nevin's appointment to the from UUCR to the Board of Directors of SUSE. As we know, SUSE's coming up in July, Western Carolina University in Cullowhee, North Carolina. Mark has been going for 42 years now, so he'll be a good representative for us. We are also bringing back Popcorn Theology as a monthly feature for our adult RE program. First session is Thursday, June 29th at 6:30 right here in the sanctuary. Think and probably check with Jesse on that. And then finally, one that's not in here is we have 2 more commitments to Family Promise in this calendar year. We have this week, which I'm pretty much covered for. If somebody else wanted to help out, I wouldn't say no. And then we have August, the week of August 9th and 10th, and November 8th and 9th. So if you could we'll put that in the weekly newsletter, but that would be much appreciated if you could help out with that. Do you want to do this little light?
Sure.
Okay.
I want to put in a plug for Susie. I'll be there with my 17-year-old who will be getting to stay in the teen dorm for the first time because of the pandemic. He's missed the teen dorm experience, but now he'll get to spend 1 year in the teen dorm because his first year in the teen dorm will also be his bridging year to YA. Please rise and body your spirit and join me in singing This Little Light of Mine. The chorus is pretty easy. I'm sure you'll get it right away. Oh, that's wrong. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Building up a world, building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere we go, this little light, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Sing louder. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Wave your hands like this. Shine. Woo. Everybody go, woo! Shine. Way to go. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. What a fun way to spend a Sunday morning.
You never did that.
Yeah, we did. So we are going to extinguish our little light. This flame is extinguished, but not our hope for the future, our courage in the face of crisis, or the love we share in all the world. Please remember to join us right through those curtains for coffee hour after the service. Go into your week with sunshine and with hope.